my channel. It's your girl Jackie Aina. I'm so excited to be doing this video because I did a video last week that did unexpectedly well, and I got a lot of really good feedback from you guys for that particular video. So I plan on keeping it going. It was my high-end versus low-end makeup tutorial, and I literally did one half of my face using all high-end products and the other half of my face using low-end products, and it was just so much fun seeing you guys guess to see which one do I think is low and high. Just feedback was insane. So we decided Playboy, I'm going to regularly compare two dupeable products. They have to be dupes. They have to either swatch the same or be identical in some way, shape, or form. Foundations, brushes, it has to be two products that are often compared together, and I'm going to demonstrate them side by side, show you guys, is it okay to splurge? Is it okay to save on that particular product? Which one should you try, or which one's worth investing for? Which one do you think, maybe I can save my money on that? Please help me keep the series going by in the comments below telling me what product you would like to see compared next. I would love to keep this going as long as I possibly can. So today we're gonna be comparing two new products, okay? One of them is very expensive. This one's from Becca. It is it is the One Perfecting Brush. The One. I just feel so extra saying that. The One. And this one from E.l.f. is the Ultimate Kabuki Brush. Huge price difference. This one retails for 10 bucks. This one retails for $50. These are both a multi-purpose blending, contouring, highlighting brush. I demonstrated the brush on one side of my face so that you can see them perform and compare them. Now, before we get started, you know the drill. This is what we're gonna do at the beginning of all of our videos. I want you to pause this and in the comments below, tell me which side of my face looks more lower end and which side of my face looks more high end. One side of my contour, highlight, and blush costs $50. And the other side costed $10. So I want you to tell me which one you think is which one just looks better blended, or which one, I don't know, you tell me. I want to hear your feedback. So without further ado, let's go right into the demo and let the games begin. I think I'm going to keep up with the consistency of keeping low-end products on this side and high-end products on this side just for consistency. No, I shouldn't do that because then you guys wouldn't know when to guess. Disregard me. We've got two brushes that both are designed to have the same purpose. This is the E.l.f. Ultimate Kabuki Blending Brush, and this is the One Perfecting Brush from Becca. Both of them are designed to be like a multitasking brush, like a brush that pretty much replaces 10 brushes in one. I don't know about that because I feel like even then I would still own 2 or 3 of them because I don't want to cross-contaminate. That'd be kind of annoying. That's the purpose of each of the brushes. This brush from Becca is highly raved about, and I've heard a lot of great things about it. This one is one of E.l.f.'s newer products, and I haven't really heard too much about it. So when I first saw this, instantly I was like, oh my God, that's genius. Someone actually recreated the Becca brush. Let's get it poppin' though. So as you can see, each of the brushes have a kabuki-like shape. The E.l.f. one being a bit more denser, thicker, and the Becca one being a bit more slimmer. And I would say the E.l.f. one definitely feels a little bit heavier, just denser. It definitely feels like a little bit of a heavier brush. I'm curious to see how that's going to work out with contouring. I just feel like that's a lot of bristles, and I have such a narrow face that might be too much, so we'll just have to see it and try it. Let's talk about the actual functions of each of these brushes. The Becca is designed to be a primer all the way to powder brush. So you can use this to apply powders, you can use this to apply liquid and cream foundations. You're also supposed to be able to use this with your primers, which is kind of cool because I just would never think to grab a brush like this for primers. So it's basically for liquids, creams, anything in between. And the E.l.f. one only says that it's a highlighting, contouring, and blending brush. So I would say between the two brushes, which one has the most functions? I'm gonna go with Becca because the Becca brush just seems like it just has a lot more uses. That doesn't necessarily mean that you can't use the E.l.f. brush in the same manner, but they're advertising this as something a little different. Just highlighting and contouring. They're both very soft. I was inappropriately stroking myself.
Busted.
I was just on my face, guys, with the brushes because they're actually both equally so soft. But the E.l.f. one has that, what is this material called? It's called Taclon. So it almost kind of has a, not plastic. Plastic is a harsh word. But the Becca one is definitely softer. I mean, I like them both. They're both bomb. They're both so soft. But the Becca one is slightly softer because it's not made of Teflon. This brush from the Becca brush is slightly longer and at 3.5 inches. And the e.l.f. brush is slightly shorter at just under 3 inches. I use my finger because you know that each little, like, that's 1 inch. Do you guys know that? So I don't know, maybe e.l.f. might be more travel friendly. Well, actually, I mean, Becca's slimmer, so I actually think Becca might be a little bit more travel friendly because it's not as fat. And any vegans out there, e.l.f. is vegan and cruelty free. This is a vegan brush. The Becca brush retails for $49 and the e.l.f. Kabuki Ultimate brush retails for $10. So price, we gonna go with e.l.f. because that's obviously a no-brainer. Obviously. They don't really have a smell. Well, this one smells like my fragrance, but no foul smells or anything like that. So both of these are designed to give a precise application of blending in certain areas. And I thought it'd be great to, I already got my full face made up, as you can see. So today I'm going to be demonstrating how it blends my bronzer, my blush, and my highlight, because it literally says that these brushes will both work for all three of those. And I kind of feel some type of way about going from like dark to light. Maybe I should wipe in between. I really need a color switch. That's what I need. But I don't have one, so I'm gonna make it work. I'm just gonna use this contour powder from Sasha in the color matte brown. It's very dark, so you're going to be able to see. Some of my bronzers that I have are really, really soft, but you'll actually be able to see the application when I apply this. And I thought what better way to demonstrate a brush, how popping the brush is, by using a product you're actually gonna see on my skin tone. I'm going in. I've never seen this brush demonstrated, so let's pray for the best. I'm just going to lightly do one swipe. You probably can't see the product, but there's fairly little product on there. So I'm just using, I'm not really just going downward, I'm also pushing up to get more of a blended look. Let's buff a little. Let's do some light buffing. I am wearing a liquid foundation and a face powder today. And then I'm going to start working it into my hairline. I always contour and bronze into my hairline. So far, beautiful application. It just is a little dense. So this part, I'm not sure if that's the angle that I'm holding. Maybe I should have held it at the corner of the brush and did that, or what. Starting to look a little blocky, a little, like from the front, it like really added a harsh contour. So that can either be a good or a bad thing. Like if you really need that harshness, I have a narrow face and a lot of people usually contour to give the appearance of a more narrow face. I'm also going to work it into my jawline, kind of slim it up a little more. I have the number 12 blush from Black Up. You know what I'm doing? I'm just gonna take one corner of the brush, apply the blush there, and then swivel that onto my cheeks. Okay, now that's helping blend it a little better. I like it. It looks nice. It doesn't look as streaky. Like I feel like this is definitely probably gonna be one of those products that you have to use from contour all the way to blush. Like you can't just bronze or contour with this because it will look streaky. I think now that I'm buffing it all in together, it looks quite nice. Now let's highlight. I'm going to use Topaz, also from Becca. And again, I'm going to use the corner of the brush first and start to blend. Of course, you would make a cameo on a video where I'm highlighting. Thanks, bro. From jawline, please ignore my pimples. Please ignore my pimples. Okay? It means my period's coming. What do you think? I think it blended out actually really nice. Like, I'm impressed. Okay, e.l.f., you kind of popping. I would love to see how this blends foundation. Like, I can see this being a great brush to blend a full coverage foundation because it is so dense and so thick. So let's go on to the Becca. Now we're going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to start with my contour. I do have to admit I have slightly higher hopes. I feel like this one might be a bit easier to control because it's thinner. I'm going to try to use the same amount of product as I did for the other side, and yeah, instantly this is slightly easier to control, slightly. So let's start blending. Yeah, oh my god, yeah, that was way easier. Still very heavy. Like I know I see the block, I know you can see it, but we're gonna work towards it, okay? So let's work it along our jawline. And also, you also have to be mindful, the product that I'm using is this is a very, very, very dark contour powder. Very dark, which I love, but if you don't know how to blend, girl, if you still in pre-K and blending, if you haven't graduated yet, you might run into some issues. So just pray before you do it, okay? I do have to say that instantly this brush from Becca, in my opinion, blended out easier and faster. And it's not necessarily because of the quality. I think it's just because of how slim this brush is compared to this. I think the density makes it a bit harder to control versus this one being more slim. So let's do blush. It was actually, I don't know if you got, oh my God. This brush is bomb. It was actually Makeup by Denise on Snapchat talking about this brush that intrigued me. So I went and bought it, and then when I saw the e.l.f. one, I thought, oh hell no, e.l.f. came through. e.l.f. really came through. Gosh, that is gorgeous. Oh my God, I love it. I'm putting on a lot. I'm being slightly product heavy because I really want you to see how these are being demonstrated. The shapes of these brushes for highlighting I think are great for people who kind of don't really know where to highlight. Sometimes, or at least maybe it's just me, but when I first started using highlighting products, I had trouble figuring out where to place them. Like, is this too high? Is this too low? I think it kind of just gives a soft application so it makes it not as difficult to find. Let's really go all in. Let's do the bridge of the nose. Let's do the apples. Hey, you can rub comfortable. Here's side one, the one perfecting brush from Becca. And here's the ultimate kabuki brush. I do feel, just my immediate thoughts is that the Becca brush is a lot like it doesn't take as much work. I think you slightly have to work at it a little bit more with the e.l.f. brush. I do think it's worth it. I do think it is a good brush for $10. But if I had to choose between which one I see myself reaching for, I'm gonna give it to Becca. I'm gonna give it to Becca. I do think this is a $50 brush. I do. Now, I also think that e.l.f., this brush could be a $50 brush just because there's so much more bristles, but it's only 10 bucks. It's a great alternative. It definitely performs. It just took a little bit more work to get it to blend. Whereas I just feel like the Becca brush is a lot more foolproof. It's easier to use and results are a little bit more instant. Whereas e.l.f., you know, you had to work at it a little bit more. So both are great. I would definitely consider this one from e.l.f. a comparable dupe. Which one is worth the buy? I think they're both worth the buy, but you know the deal. You know what it is. e.l.f. great alternative. Definitely a great alternative for someone who is not looking to spend $50 on a brush like my stupid ass. I think ultimately with brushes too, what it's going to come down to is longevity of the brush. Does it shed every time I clean it? Most of my e.l.f. brushes, my complexion brushes that get the most dirt packed, are pretty good with shedding. Like, I feel like I get a normal amount of shedding. This is my first Becca brush, so it would be interesting to see how this one holds up, how long it will actually last. Ultimately will really depend on which brush lasts the longest after like equal, you know, like wear and tear, because brushes are meant to be used for years and years. Like, some brushes I still have since I first started freelance makeup, which was in 2009, and they are still holding on strong. So that's pretty much our demo. That's all I've got. Okay guys, so in conclusion, I have mad love for both of these brushes, but I do think that this one is great, but it might take a little practice. It might take some extra elbow, you know, little elbow wiggling. I like both of them. I'm going to recommend both of them, but of the two, I'm gonna say the Becca brush wins this competition, definitely. Let's start a hashtag on Instagram, okay? So if you have your favorite dupes that you would like to see me compare or swatch or whatever, demonstrate here on my channel, use the hashtag on, it's like take a picture of the product and use the hashtag high-end versus low-end. Like, that'll be our thing now, high-end versus low-end. Or tweet me. I'm always tweeting you. I always get like stuff on Twitter, and it's so easy because then I see it, it's a little bit less messy as Instagram, and that way I can like favorite it or like it and screenshot it right then and there, versus Instagram. Stuff just moves too fast. So I really hope that you guys love this series. I'm so excited to get it started. Give me some feedback on what you guys want to see next. And if you are not subscribed, you're not going to be able to see all the cool dupes in the future. So be sure to hit it on that way out. Hit it, girl, hey, on that way out. And of course, give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. And I don't know, if you like my hair, you think I'm cute or something, keep coming back. All right, guys, I will see you on my next video. Thanks again for watching. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.